Most people spend half of their life attempting to repay their tuition fees back to student loan companies. It is said that this debt invites even more debt to come later on in life. But what if you had your fees paid for, your rent, living costs, and a lot more to spend on luxury items of your choice at no extra cost to yourself financially, courtesy of an online stranger? What if there was a website and app dedicated to this epidemic of low-income students? Would you take the plunge? I met up with Janae Achiampong, a former sugar baby turned successful model, to find out if this luxury lifestyle was all it was cracked up to be.
I was a student and I needed some money at the time, and I basically joined a site called Seeking Arrangements, and they gave me the opportunity to meet loads of rich men. So the first guy that I met was a celebrity. I thought this is probably some sort of catfish or something. I did not believe it. I wanted to basically step it up a level and get things that I couldn't afford myself. Like, I wanted designer bags, I wanted designer shoes, I wanted everything. We basically just hit it off, and I just told him what I needed. I said I needed a monthly allowance. I basically wrote down in my profile that I don't want to sleep with anyone for money. The more we started seeing each other, we started to get on. We got on really well. We realised we even had a lot in common, and it just started to blossom into something, and then we started seeing each other. Life now not being on the site and not getting a monthly allowance is so much more pressure. I was on such a high before. I had so much money coming in. I could buy what I want. I could buy things for my friends. And then I have those moments when I think, should I go back on the site? But then that's not the life I want for myself. I just basically want to help other aspiring models. And there's other avenues of like working hard and making money. Like, you don't always have to go on these sort of sites, because sometimes it can go really wrong.
Almost 250,000 UK students are said to be registered to the Seeking Arrangement mobile app. 54% of student sex workers say they do it to pay basic living costs, and 22% of students have considered sex work. There is clearly a growing number of students, both male and female, that prefer a no strings attached policy with financial benefits over the conventional loving relationship. But why is that? In this world of online technology, the concept of true love has proven to be easier to find. So easy that it is now old news. Social media is now the driving force of bringing people together, and some students consider mutually beneficial relationships as a way out of debt since the rise in tuition fees in 2012.
We're all adults, you can make your own decisions, but we do raise our concern about how the safety of students and how it can be unsafe for students to get involved with someone that they don't know very well and they don't know much about. So I urge you to, if you are struggling with money, we all students, we all have that can happen to us, but just make sure we're safe.
So if this is such an appealing lifestyle, what's the student opinion?
If I was single, I actually dare to even say, as long as there was a physical attraction in there, and I know this is out there and mad, I might even consider the sexual elements if it was a one-to-one. There'd have to be considerations about whether he was sleeping with anyone else and safe sex and all that sort of stuff, but for if a large amount of money, like pay my university fees or something crazy like that.
Fees, and I'd really think about it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
As long as it's between two consenting adults, I feel like that is fine, that's their decision. It wouldn't be something I'd personally do, especially if it's just because of the money situation. I feel that there's other avenues that can be explored if you're short on money, but if that is how people are wanting to get their money and that is an avenue that they're willing to explore, then that's entirely their decision.
It can help you massively with your student finances rather than taking out a loan, because that way you're not in debt to anybody else, and as long as you're safe and protected, do what you want to do.
Now that we know that there are mixed opinions about the topic, how do we know if it's even legal?
So these so-called sugar babies then are more heading towards the escort side of the business, because the act of prostitution is not an offence within itself. The only time it becomes illegal is when we go into the areas of solicitation. Prostitutes are a bit more open about their work and career, you'll see them more on the streets, whereas escorts are more a business setup, so there's actually hierarchy, structure, payrolls. Clients will have to be vetted before they can actually meet any of the girls. They can also sell their own time, go on dates with you, and they're all actually for people who are not just wanting to buy sex off people, but also might just want to have some companionship. it does seem very, very attractive to a lot of people. They think they can just give a bit of time, go on a few dates, earn some money, and that's it. There's a lot more attached to it. It really becomes a lifestyle for some people. You've got issues such as abuse coming both physically, sexually and emotionally off clients, so-called pimps, owners of these escort services and such. You've also got problems maybe going into drugs, either just starting to carrying on addictions or even maybe having to turn to crime to be able to fund said addictions. There's honestly a handful of issues that people should consider before thinking this lifestyle might be for them.
With all perspectives in mind, the common thread in all of this is to be aware of stranger danger. The advice given was to carefully think about the long-term implications of self-worth and future job prospects, as well as doing what makes you happy. But can money really buy happiness? Teesside reporter Kailey Doku.